Blues? The Blues! That's who we're losing to now? The Blues suck. Their offense sucks. Their defense sucks. Their goaltending sucks. Their special teams sucks. Their Claude Julien sucks! And you know what? Not for nothing, but low-quality Blues fan is by far the ugliest low-qual in the building.
Really? I always thought that low-quality Coyotes fan was the ugliest.
No, yeah, he was, but he died.
He died?
No, he didn't actually die. He just morphed into this other guy, and the new guy pretends the old guy never existed, which is just really weird for all of us. Back to the point, we just got dominated by a Blues team that sucks!
Hey.
Oh. Hey. I know that probably sounded bad.
Yeah, pretty bad. You gonna apologize?
I'll do you one better. I'll say it with my chest. You suck.
No. You suck.
Oh my god, he's right.
How are you just realizing this?
I was holding on to hope! Low-quality fans! I have to say it. But it's really hard to say. You know? It's like a hard lie. It's a hard lie to say. Of a high-quality Bruins team. We got through it. Like, comment, subscribe. I said the thing. Maybe, you know, a little tit for tat. God. What, this team we can't be this bad. Right? Like, we can't be this bad. It's one thing when you're getting embarrassed by teams like the Canes and the Stars. You just got shellacked. I mean, I know the final score was 3-2 in overtime, but, like, if you watch that game, I mean, even the shot totals, but you watch it, you just got shellacked by the St. Louis Blues, who don't have their best player in Robert Thomas, who's still on the IR. Their defense still has other injuries on it, too. The St. Louis Blues, we just played them a couple nights ago, had a dramatic comeback in the third, erasing a 2-goal deficit to win in the third period. Regulation win. They rank bottom 10 in everything. Goaltending, offense, defense, special teams, face-offs, everything. And you just got smoked by them. Again, I knew what the final score was. I watched the game. You got smoked by them. First period, there were some nice moments. After that, the Bruins just stopped. Again. Like, what? We can't be this bad. And no one seems to give a shit. Like, I mean, Monty at least raised his voice today. But the players they stopped. Once again, they stopped. With a lead, they stopped. Just stop playing. The Bruins averaged less than 6 shots on goal per period. They now have just 1 third period goal at home all season. All season. Yeah, but Patra was the problem, right? That's the guy you had to send down. Matthew Patra was the problem. If you took the rankings of every NHL team in the main 4 categories, the easy stuff. Goals allowed per game, goals for per game, power play percentage, penalty kill percentage, and you took their ranking, their 1 through 32 ranking against the rest of the league. You add those up and average out the average ranking spot for those 4 categories. For any team in the league, the Bruins are worse. They're the worst by far. Our average rank is 27.7 in any of those categories. Dead last on the power play. Bottom, 6 on the penalty kill. Bottom 6 or 7. Goals for were bottom 6 or 7. Goals allowed were in the bottom 5, I think. I mean, I don't even want to look up the numbers. They're so depressing. I did this earlier. Before this game, our average ranking is beyond 27th for those 4 categories. I don't care. I don't care about any other factors. You look at this roster and you go, it's not a bottom 5 roster. The only positive we have, thank you, Heather, by the way, friend of the show, we got a point out of this game. The negatives, everything else. all of it. Come on. This team is not that bad. And yes, I know our record says we are in the mushy middle, 17th or 18th in the league. Our point percentage is worse than that, I'm pretty sure. But if you've watched the team, which many of you have, most of you have, maybe all of you have, you sit there and go, this looks like a bottom 5 team. That's how bad they look. We can't be this bad. The best offseason acquisition we have so far is Korpisalo, who's actually been pretty solid. I'm actually pretty impressed with Korpisalo's play so far. Zadorov, again, we knew this already, right when he signed it, but looks like a disaster. Just an absolute disaster. He would be, if you had him on the third pair for $2 million a year, you'd still be looking at him being like, damn. $5 million for the next 6 years. Woof. Elias Lindholm, if you were sick of the Coyle contract, which, to be fair, Coyle's been very good for us the past couple of years, worth the money in my opinion. But if you were sick of that contract, well, buckle up. Because Elias Lindholm also looks like a complete disaster. The dude has had the chance to play with our best talent. Granted, there's not that much. But he's still an absolute liability offensively. Can't hit the net to save his life. Out of position defensively, which was supposed to be his thing. And then he gets dropped to the second line. I go, okay, good. This is where I thought he belonged the whole time. Maybe he's just going to be kind of a decent second liner who has too big of a contract, but we can live with that. But instead, he looks like a guy who should at best be on the third line being paid $4 million a year. Again, when that contract was signed, we went, this is not going to be a good contract. But best case scenario, maybe he proves some of us wrong. How is Korpisalo your best offseason acquisition? Like, I've been a Sweeney defender for a long time. This offseason, I was very vocal about how I think he screwed it all up. And, yeah. Like, when you're calling for Sweeney's head right now, absolutely, man. I'm not going to argue with that. This has been a brutal offseason into the early season. I think Monty deserves some blame. And obviously, the players deserve a ton of blame, especially the past couple of games where they can't be bothered. They just can't be bothered to show any heart, grit, survival instincts, whatever. Optimism. Let's find some optimism. I'm sorry. Let's get some optimism going here. We're 8-3. We are still somehow in the playoff race. How are we still 8-3? I don't know. There's actually nothing about analytically or watching the play or anything that indicates this team should even be at 500 right now. We've beaten the bad teams is really what it's been. We gotten smoked by all the good ones. Optimism. Okay, optimism. The lines were Geeky, Zacha, Pasternak, Marchand, Lindholm, Brazeau, Merkulov, Coyle, Freddie, Tufte, Kostelik, Kepke, Oysterley, McAvoy, Lorai, Carlo, Zadorov, Wotherspoon, Korpisalo. Oysterley had to start on the top pair because Zadorov has been so bad. Think about that. I know those pairings won't stay the same, but what? Merkulov got called back up before Patra did. They really thought Patra was part of the problem. See, this is where I look at both the front office and the coaching and be like, really? That's the guy that's the issue? If they sent him down and were like, we're trying to protect him. We need him to get better at keeping his head up and surviving some of these hits because we're afraid he's a long-term asset that's going to get injured. I would go, okay, great. I understand. That makes all the sense in the world. You're making the team worse, but with eyes to the future, I get it. But instead, what we get is some bluster about him being more effective 5-on-5 when he was your third most effective forward at 5-on-5. Yeah, the point totals weren't there. But I'm sorry, I don't know if you've noticed this. No one on this team can finish a chance. None of them. He's a playmaker. He's a distributor, and that's what he was doing. And then Morgan Geekie and Pavel Zacha and Trent Frederick and Charlie Coyle and Brazeau and whoever else was on the third line with him, all those different shifts, kept missing the net. What do you want from the kid? But again, if you're just, hey, we want to protect him, I understand that. I'm going to be on your side all of a sudden. Merkulov gets called up and honestly looks good. I thought he looked solid. He was part of the problem in the second and third, don't get me wrong, but I thought for the most part, he played defensively well enough. He's not known for his defensive side of the game. And he created a few chances offensively. Now, of course, midway through the second period, his game went to hell like everybody else's. So whatever, mix in, match the speed of the road or whatever. The flow of traffic, as they would. You just got outplayed for 2.5 periods by the St. Louis Blues without Robert Thomas. This team can't be this bad. Like, you can be bad. You could be missed the playoff bad. This roster can be. And I would go, yeah, this team had a large variation of what they could or could not be this offseason. That makes sense. To rank bottom 5 in virtually everything, you can't be that bad. Look at some of the rosters around the league. And this is what you guys are putting together? I mean, some of these rosters would kill for a Pasternak or a McAvoy, who granted hasn't had a great start to his year, but still. A Carlo, who had an abysmal game, but I still kind of think he's fucking concussed. A Swayman, who's been awful to start the year. All these guys are underperforming, right? Well, everyone's underperforming. Eventually, you just gotta look at the team and be like, oh, wait, hold on, maybe. Right? There are pieces of this team that should make this team far better than what they are right now. I'm not saying a cup champion. I'm not even saying a playoff contender. But something that looks on ice like a real hockey team. That's why I got so excited about the 4-1-1 record through those 6 games. Because I was like, through those 6 games, we looked like a hockey team. And I drank the juice a little too hard. I was excited about the Stars game. That happens. And it completely fell back in my face. But you can't be this bad. You can't be a bottom 5 team with this roster. That just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. I don't know. And again, we don't rank bottom 5 as far as points. But the play, it looks bottom 5. The analytics say bottom 5 mostly. It's bad. It's really, really bad. I don't even want to go through this game. God, I'm so very bummed out. You can't get mollywopped by the St. Louis Blues, man. You can't. 6 shots, 5 shots, 6 shots. You didn't take your 15th shot on net. That was first, second, and third period. Sorry, I should explain myself. You didn't take a 15th shot until 4 minutes left of the third period. That's abysmal. That's abysmal. I mean, you probably had 40-something shot attempts, missed high and wide on basically everything. I gotta do a deep dive. I gotta figure out how to fix this team. Do I have to? No, but I gotta figure this out. Man. My goodness. I mean, if I'm overreacting, hit me with it. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm failing today. I was failing after the Dallas game, and trust me, if this team came out and looked damn good and just whacked around the Blues for 60 minutes, even if they lost, I'd still be sitting there like, okay, all right, well, the team can beat bad teams. We didn't win this one, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't be like this. I don't even know what to say about this team, man. You can't be this bad. Puck drops. 1:11 in. Falk is going to go for holding. We're going to do the power play. We'll skip 2 minutes forward on that. You know. 6:25 in. Wotherspoon gets to a dump in and flings a high, soft pass to McAvoy on the left wall. He's got a guy coming. He could have gone the other direction with it, but instead he tries to backhand it up the left wall, and it's way too high for McAvoy to knock down and play, so Wotherspoon just gives the puck back, basically. Perunovich on the left point will collect it. He slams this to the net. Foxer gets the tip. There's 3 Bruins around him. No one makes contact with him. It's 1-0 just like that. That's fine. Who cares? They scored in the first 10 minutes of the game. They scored first. The Boston Bruins should be a better team than St. Louis Blues. Those are all my thoughts at the time. And then 8 minutes in, Korpisalo has to make a huge save off of a rebound from a wide-open Shen who is standing in the slot uncovered. It's 5-on-5 right now, by the way. Uncovered. And then he has to make another save on the rebound he gave up off that chance, and then, just for good luck, has to make a third one, a backhanded shot from Falk in the slot. He stops all 3. He looks great doing it. You don't love the first rebound he gave up to give Shen that first chance, but still, you also don't love that there's no Bruin within 5 feet of Shen in the middle of the slot. And that was the moment where I went, I haven't actually thought about how I'm going to feel if we lose this game. The Dallas game was bad enough, but what if we actually lose this game? Well, I guess I got to find out. 10:26 in. Third line set up in the O-zone after a face-off win. Coyle with the puck on the left side of the ice. Dishes it up to McAvoy in the center of the slot. He's going to hammer this wide of the net. Looks like an intentional pass to me. Merkulov's there to tip it. I think it glances off the pad of Binnington, and Frederic gets a wide open net, slams it in. It's 1-1, and you get pumped. Merkulov's first NHL point. Frederic gets a goal off of it. God, he needed that. And we're tied, and we can start playing Bruins hockey. Win this game against this stupid team. 7:48 left. Walker with a poor clear leads to a Coyle keep-in and a Lohrei slap shot from the left point. Frederic gets the tip to beat Binner, glove side. It's 2-1. This is what I mean. Everyone's like, yes, great. See, we are better than this team. Let's go wave after wave, continued pressure, build on something here. And then a minute later, Bruins are going to go to the penalty kill because they have too many men on the ice. That's okay. We kill it, and it's a really, really good kill. And with 2 minutes left of the period, Carlo with a poor pass, then a misplay by McAvoy, followed by a McAvoy puck-watching exhibition, leads to a Blues breakout of a 3-on-1 and 2 huge saves from Korpisalo once again. It's 2-1. All right, you don't feel amazing about the first, but you feel good enough. You have the lead. You have the lead. That's basically where we're at. Frederic's 100th point, by the way. That goal, the second goal that he scored. His 100th point. There's things to feel good about. Korpisalo came to play. He's looking really good. Yes, Elias Lindholm looks like hell, and he's submarining his line just horribly. That's all right. The Coyle line with Frederic and Merkulov seem to be schmoovin' and getting into the zone and creating chances. Fine. Pasta is seeing the open space really well, and the whole first period was just, I'll pass to the open space, my guy will get there, and it was working. Second period starts. About 4 minutes in, Kostelik's going to go down the tunnel. He laid a pretty big hit during his last shift of the game. I'm not sure what it was, but he would not return due to a lower body injury. And after about 5 minutes, the Bruins stopped. That's it. That's the game. They stopped playing. They couldn't break it out of their zone. They turned it over in the zone over and over. Couldn't cross the red line. Any chance of the offensive zone was one and done. It was awful, awful hockey. It was pucks into skates. It was poor clearances, miscommunications. I mean, just misplay after misplay after misplay. And the Blues got to take advantage. The Blues got to roll into our offensive zone over and over and over and over again, and somehow still couldn't put together these large, high-danger chances, which says something about us. I don't know. Might just say more about the Blues. But they got to keep the puck. The whole time, they got to keep the puck. And 7:26 left. The Blues are all over them. And they managed to get one past a sprawling Korpisalo. But Joseph was in the blue paint and made skate contact with Korpisalo. Now, we've seen this called back for even weaker this season. The goaltender interference rules are getting really, really strict about this blue paint contact, and they waive it for goaltender interference. They won't challenge it, so we're going to stay 2-1. But the Bruins really need to wake up here, right? There's 7 minutes left. You've been getting plowed for most of this period. You're better than this team. Wake up. And about a minute later, the Bruins call a timeout because they're not waking up. And Monty is screaming. The Bruins have managed just 8 shots so far this game and only 2 this period. It's that bad. Monty is screaming at them. Because I think Monty really does have a ton of patience. He's Mr. Grace. He's the guy that that's your boss, that you have all these coworkers who never get held accountable because the boss wants to be well-liked. That only lasts so long, right? You only get to a certain point with that. And Monty's done. I don't know. Do you think it's bad for us? Our jobs don't rely on this stuff. And yeah, I think Monty deserves plenty of the blame to go with how this season has gone so far. But also, with his job on the line, watching what we're watching, which is officially on the players. I mean, this is lackadaisical. This is uncaring. This is slow. He's losing it. And he deserves to be. With 50 seconds left of the period, McAvoy and Sundqvist are going to rough each other up. They're both going to go to the penalty box. We'll play 4-on-4, and with 10 seconds left of the period, Freddie is going to go for cross-checking. So it'll be 4v3 for 120, which means we'll start the third period with a $1.10 of time 4v3. We kill it. We kill it well. Impressively. And then with 10:42 left, and the Bruins still haven't gotten off the mat. It's been almost 10 more minutes of the same just slow-mo, lackadaisical play. Zadorov with the puck behind our net just whips it up the left wall to nobody, just giving it back to the Blues point man. He sends it back down to Faksa below the goal line, who's then going to no-look whip this up to Walker, past Koepke, who's just covering open space, no bodies, and Walker is going to go from the middle of the slot and beat Korpisalo blocker side. It is 2-2. Shots are 23-12 at this point against the St. Louis Blues, who do not have Robert Thomas. Period's going to end 2-2. We're going to go to overtime. I'm going to be honest with you here. This sounds negative. I did not care. I watched overtime, and I truly did not care who won this game. Because I was already so very aggravated at this team and what they decided to put on the ice today. We lost. Shen gets a chance after Osterley just gives it away. Tries to get to Coyle. There's no reason to ever make that pass. Puck goes the other way. Shen gets a chance from the left dot, and he's going to beat Korpisalo glove side. That Korpisalo is very good. I put none of this game on Korpisalo. 0 of it. This game could have been like 5-1. 5-2. Fine, we scored 2 goals. Whatever. I just couldn't emotionally connect at that point. Because the Bruins stopped playing again. They can't possibly be this bad. It's not, like, you can't be this bad. And we sit there and send Patra down as if he's part of the problem. He was not. Call it Patrick Brown because no one has a pulse of this team at all, and somehow you still think Patrick Brown can play in the NHL. I don't understand it. I don't know how to fix it. I spent so much of the morning trying to cheer myself up with these public analytics sites. Anything that shows that the Bruins are they just need something to go their way. Anything to fool myself into being like, hey, wait, hold on. This team has really got something here. And all I did was bum myself out further. Merkulov was fine, by the way. As far as a game note, my one game note that's a legitimate game note, not just a complaint. Merkulov was fine. He created some opportunities. Halfway through the game, he fell off a cliff like everybody else. We couldn't get up ice. I mean, it was what it was. But I thought offensively he was solid. Transitional defense is not good, but once he's in the zone, he did make a couple plays. He saved a goal flat out at one point, picking up a guy that no one else did. That wasn't his guy, by the way, but he picked him up and ended up saving a chance from the slot. I'm really frustrated here. I don't know what to say about this team. I don't know what the solution is. I think there is one. There's no way this team can be this bad. There's no way. I mean, the good news is we're only 8-3 after what has looked like a really bad team. But we had those 6 games where we looked like a real hockey team, and then the 2 that followed went right back to the month of October, where you don't look like a real hockey team at all. I know we have some injuries, but not like this. Not like this. They're my boys. I'm going to watch every game. Going to root them on. Said the same thing after last video, but my God, give us something. With Merkulov in the lineup, at least I get to root for that. But there's going to be no hardware, no individual hardware or anything to keep an eye on. Pasta, we know what he is, so it's a little less interesting to follow along with his statistics and everything. There's not an exciting point of this team right now. Patra would be. Merkulov will be. If Lysell gets called up. Lorai is one, actually, I'll give you that. I enjoy watching Lorai, and I want him to figure it out. I thought he was actually okay for large stretches of this one. Defensively, I mean. Trying to find some positives. It's really hard to find right now. And look, a week could change our mind. A week. But this team is playing a style its roster is incapable of playing. That much is clear. And I don't know how long this can last without some major changes. Maybe next week, if this continues, we talk about who we're bandwagoning. That would be fun. Go Bees. Go Bees! Of course, we have to give a huge thank you to everyone who's supporting this channel, especially the high-quality inspectors, our top-line tier members, Chris and Erica, Jeff with a G, Tommy Braga, The Bugman, Roland22, GD Viperworks, Len Cruz, Moonlighter TV, Brock Nope, Han Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Brett Arney, Pincent, Adam Ella, Big Bad Bruin, and Nick Zatrullo. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. You're all studs and studettes. And of course, a huge thank you to the Stallions, our all-star tier members, Joel, Doots42, Heil E. Coyote, Darren Woodbury, Abraxion, John Kirk, Michael DiPaolo, Wolf Warrior, Vinny, Adrian Winter, Tupton D. Tashi, Nightmare Eco, Bruins Smash, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Boston Stringler, Matthew Gallagher, Dash Riprock, Jacob Pratt, and Jeremy. You are all absolute legends. I appreciate you eternally. And as usual, go Bees!